Have you ever wanted pizza for breakfast? Well, the Lebanese have, and now you can too. Manaeesh is a delicious, soft flatbread that's very popular in Lebanon and the rest of the Mediterranean. Usually served for breakfast or lunch, it's a very healthy dish and is typically topped with olive oil, za'atar, and sometimes lamb, cheese, or spinach. Due to the similarities, it's often referred to as the pizza of the Middle East. So let's make it. As usual, we need to start by proofing our yeast. Take 1/3 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon or 94 grams of water and heat that up to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43 degrees Celsius. Then we can add 3/4 of a teaspoon or 3 grams of active dry yeast. Mix that together with a fork and let that sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. Now we can get a big old bowl and to that add 1 cup of all-purpose flour or 125 grams of it. That's right, no stand mixer this time. Then we can add 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt or 3 grams, or 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of sugar. Whisk it all together and make it all thoroughly combined. When our yeast water is all finished proofing, grab a fork and dump it in slowly and mix it all together. Just get it the best you can, it's going to form a few clumps and not come together all the way. Set aside your fork and finish mixing it by hand. Toss the dough and the rest of the flour that's in the bowl onto your counter. And then just start kneading your dough until all of the excess flour is incorporated and the dough becomes smooth, about 5 to 8 minutes. Then shape it into a nice round ball. Then lightly grease a medium-sized bowl, plop it on in, cover it with a warm damp towel and set that aside for about 1 hour to rise. And just like magic, it's been 1 whole hour and the dough looks nice and chubby. Go ahead and beat it down lightly. Lightly flour your work surface and dump out your dough. Flatten it out a little bit with your hand, and then cut it in half with a bench scraper. Gently form each of those dough halves into a ball. Flour a rolling pin and roll out each of your dough balls to a nice thin sheet about 1/8 of an inch thick. Transfer each of your rounds to a parchment-lined baking sheet. Then we can set that aside and prep the toppings. We can go ahead and grate 1/2 cup or 50 grams of mozzarella. Make sure to get it off of a block. You're going to save money, it's going to melt better, and you won't have any starch that covers the pre-grated mozzarella. Traditionally, either a kawi or a kushkaval cheese is used. Unfortunately, my local grocery store did not have either of those available, so if yours does not either, mozzarella is a good alternative. Then in a small bowl, we can get 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of extra virgin olive oil, add in 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of water, and then finally we can add 1.5 tablespoons or 6 grams of za'atar. Go ahead and mix that all together. And then take that za'atar mixture, evenly coat each of your 2 rounds with it, make sure to use all of it. And then take that cheese from earlier and evenly distribute all of that cheese across the 2. Then we can place it on the middle rack of our oven that is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 degrees Celsius and leave that to bake for about 10 minutes. While we wait, we can cut up some cucumber slices, and we can also cheek a lemon. A little bit of lemon juice is delicious on these things. Once it's done, take it out of the oven, plate it with some cucumbers, and if desired, take your lemon and sprinkle just a little bit of lemon juice. I highly recommend it. Feel free to cut it up with a pizza cutter and dig in. Let's take a look at our final product. So there we have it, we made manaeesh. It's quick and easy to make and very unique, especially if you haven't had za'atar before. It's definitely something to try, trust me, it's delicious. So if you enjoyed the video or learned something, please leave a like and subscribe. We have a whole bunch more videos on the way for our Bread Around the World series. Thanks so much.